Although Americans don't often fry with it, I've become a big fan of plain old refined olive oil, which, despite being 14% saturated fat, leads the pack in heart-healthy monounsaturated fats at 76%. Now, although its pedigree is Italian, my favorite application is decidedly American. Potato chips. That means deep frying, and for me, that means a big old Dutch oven, nice and dense. Now, we will also require the services of a good frying thermometer, which we will attach thusly. Now, oil is going to take 2 quarts, but don't worry, most of it's going to be left in the pot. You can always reuse it. As for the rest of the hardware, mandolin or V-slicer or other device capable of creating dime-thick slices, a large strainer like this spider, and a bowl lined with paper towels for tossing. Now, as far as the potatoes themselves, we always want to go with high-starch russet baking potatoes. 3 medium should do the trick. We'll need salt and pepper too, but we'll get to that. Now, the first step is to bring this oil up to 300 degrees. And I'm going to do that over medium heat so that when I get to about 280, I'll be able to back down that heat without zooming past the target temperature. That would be a bad thing. Potato chips are all about details. For instance, the pieces need to hit the oil one at a time. That's the only way to make sure that they don't stick. If they're stuck together when they hit the oil, odds are you'll never be able to pry them apart. This also means that you need to keep them moving gently throughout, well, pretty much the entire cooking cycle. But don't worry, it's only going to take a few minutes. As water boils out of the potatoes, it's going to move into the oil before going into the air, and that is going to cool the oil quite a bit. You could lose 20 degrees in just the first couple of minutes. So you've got to keep one hand on the spider and the other hand on the throttle to keep that oil as close to 300 as possible. If you're using brand new oil, you may notice that the first couple of spiderfuls of chips are going to be just a little bit on the pale side, okay? That is because the oil and the water coming out of the chips don't get along with each other, okay? But as the oil starts to break down little by little from heat and contact with the food, small amounts of natural soaps are produced, and these soaps will act essentially as emulsifiers to help the potato and the oil get together and do the browning, which is so critical for the flavor that we're out for. This is referred to as breaking in the oil and explains why professional frymen, when they change their fry machines, always put some of the old fat in with the new fat. Leads to better browning. Although I've heard of some home chippers sprinkling on things like chili powder, I find that the only extra adornment ever required here is a little spritzing of malt vinegar. Very nice.